What was that?
It was one mega long entrance.
It was. You got to build that audience. How are you, Mr. Eric Suarez?
I am tired after a long day of work.
Yeah, well, I mean, we know you're tired, but how are you? So we are in season 2 of Sass Science. Oh my God. Oh, we have Walter Rivera in here. Hello, Miss Walter. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, season 2. God. I mean, what was the last time we did that? 8 months ago, right?
The funny thing is that when we started doing this, like, oh, there goes Walter. Yes. Hello, Jen. Yeah, when we started doing this, it was kind of, we thought it was going to be a one-time deal. COVID was going to be gone. We'll never do this ever again.
Exactly.
Here we are a year later.
Look where we are. Hello, Miss DJ Brianna Lee. Hello. How are you? I know you're spinning the beats, I think, over there in Melbourne and kind of like all over Central Florida. So I hope you have been well. Hello, Ashley Torres. I hope you have been well. And everybody out there, thank you for joining season 2 of Sass and Science. If you did not watch us last year, the year of 2020, we don't blame you because most of us have forgotten about 2020.
Look, let's be honest, that's kind of fair. We skipped birthdays, holidays. We haven't seen family in maybe over a year, some of which are probably still out of state that we haven't seen.
Exactly. So, I mean, it's 2020, like, literally was just ridiculously just. I can't even. Hello, Paul McClure. How are you? Oh, look, we've got Thomas. Ethan Jr. Hello, boys and girls. Yes, hello. So yeah, like this episode is just going to be kind of like catching up with you guys, seeing how everybody's been doing. There's been a lot of changes since our last episode. A lot. And today, well, technically it was yesterday, is the 1-year anniversary that Sass and Science kicked off.
Oh,
you realize that? Like April 11th of 2020, you and I were like, okay, we're bored. We're quarantining. We're staying at home. We're doing something. Let's do something. And we were just going to do 4 weeks. And it turned into from April to August.
I was going to say, it wasn't 4 weeks. I know we did way more than that.
Well, let's not say we. Let's say Beyonce did more than that.
Oh, right there in the heart.
Where's my fan? Shit.
I was still working.
Yeah. Okay. I was only closed for 6 fucking weeks, so I don't even want to hear that excuse. I was only
closed for 2.
Oh, for 2 weeks? Oh.
Yeah.
Hello, Andrew Nokor. How are you? I was supposed to see you and your husband on last month's Dora Queen brunch, but you weren't there. No, this past Saturday, but you weren't there. You and Joel. Okay.
I've never met them in person, as many people during quarantine time that I've met through Facebook. They look like a really cute and fun and vivacious, outgoing couple. Do you know them in person?
Absolutely, I 100% know them in person. Like, I don't know them, like I've never had sex with them, but I do know them in person. And Andrew's an extremely handsome fella. So is his husband. They're very fun. They're very they just want to have a good time like most of us do. And so, yeah, Andrew and his husband are amazing, but obviously horrible at committing to dates. But I also know somebody else that is doing the same thing. John Porco says, sorry he's late. Good to see you all done up. Bear once. # lazy queen. Listen here, bitch. I'm not gonna spill yo tea over the internet. So, yes, I'm being lazy today, but that's okay.
Oh, John Porco. Haven't seen him in forever.
Neither has most of the world.
He's in a different kind of quarantine. He's hiding in the mountains or something.
No, girl. No, I know her tea. I know her tea, but I'm not going to spread it because I'm a friend.
Oh, thank you for being a friend.
So, like, let's go over some subjects. Like, let's start out with a subject or two or three or four. And we always want your guys' comments. So everybody that is able to comment away. If you could actually go to the bottom of the screen, and where's my camera? There we go. You would think that after how many months we did this, that I would know what the hell I'm doing. But there's a little red heart right there. If you could do heart, and then if you could go over here and hit the share button and share it to your page, share it to your friends, your groups, and everything like that. Because, like, honestly, one of the things that I do have to say, that Sass Science does is we cover some really good subjects.
Yeah,
we really do. Some of them I've got to say, like, people are just like, oh, well, I don't want to hear your shit or whatever. But we're pretty just true about, like, what we say. Like, we give substantial information, and that's what Sass Science is about. I give the sass side of it. I basically give the shade, and then we have Eric over here, Eric Suarez, who's an amazing. Wait, bitch. It used to be ARNP. Now it just says NP. Oh, nurse practitioner.
I feel like it's simplified with NP. Like, people can get that.
Okay, so nurse practitioner. What did the AR stand for?
It's advanced. Well, the full thing in the state of Florida is advanced practice registered nurse. But there's way more letters that come after it, so I'm not even going to bother into that.
Well, girl, we're not going to get into that because so has LGBTQI+. I don't even know all the letters because I can't keep up.
Plus, and
exactly. I see Miss Yvonne Carter in here. Hello, just Miss Carter. I just want to let you know that I was just on a certain website looking at a cruise for April of 2022. Just saying.
I actually was talking to my travel agent yesterday about a January 2020 cruise called Atlantis.
Oh, that's the homosexual cruises where y'all can go have sex. See, I was going on to a family-friendly one where the only sex that I'll be having is with my man in the steam room, but that's, only if it's a private area. John Porco says, that's right, keep the tea on me locked down. Michelle says, hello, bunch of hearts, yes. John Porco says, hi, Eric. Hi, Michelle. We have Kenny Lambert in here. Hello, Kenny, how are you? We have Roy Everett. What is this? So, Roy, if you do not know, we are Sass Science. So we go over a bunch of information. Last year, we started this as a little bit of a hobby to keep us busy during quarantine. We have myself, who is a drag queen, bearded drag queen, but at the same time, I am #lazy today and probably this entire season because it takes me 4 hours just to get in space.
Oh, wow.
He ain't got that time. And then we have Eric Suarez over here, who is an amazing nurse practitioner with the science side. So he goes into all depths of, like, the subjects that we're talking about, and I give just the tea and the reality and the shade about it. So that is exactly what this is, Roy. Let's see. We have... Paul McClure says something is always important to someone, so everything is on topic.
Now that's on point right there.
On point right there. Kenny Lambert again says, I'm great. I'm glad to hear that. So, all right. So let's talk about a subject. Let's talk about the one thing that is still here.
That topic.
All right. I'm going to let you lead with this on the science side. Like, what developments have you seen, and like, what developments have you seen beneficial and also not so beneficial?
So not so beneficial has been like the misinformation campaigns that have been out there, right? That have really scared a lot of people into either delaying vaccination or not wanting to get vaccinated for a variety of reasons. And if you look at the research as far as like what are the contraindications, the reasons that you should not get a vaccine, There's very few and far between, and in fact, if you've anyone here, a few people actually here, are friends on my Facebook, my professional Facebook page, they will have seen that I've actually participated along with my husband with the Department of Health in vaccination campaign out in the public, doing 200 vaccines a day. A lot of these people who were the early people that got vaccines, which are 65 and over, came with their certified letter from their physician, no matter what condition they had, that it was imperative that they got their vaccine to protect this person, regardless of what other conditions they may have.
Gotcha.
The main one that we worried about, that we saw most concerns with, was palpitations. And when I say palpitations, I'm actually talking about like arrhythmias like atrial fibrillation, where your heart kind of like quivers, right, in a shaking way and doesn't really like perfuse and beat symmetrically like we would like it to. But even those cardiologists actually signed off on those patients getting vaccines, and they got them that day. I administered a lot of those. So vaccine. The thing is that I think that people don't know is that because they see all these names of different vaccines and they don't get what's the difference between them. So we're going to break it down in a very fundamental way. We have Moderna and Pfizer. Those are mRNA vaccines. They use genetic material from the original virus to, like, it's a dead virus, obviously, because you've extracted genetic material. It's not a whole thing. And you deliver it to the patient. Those are given in two. The first one is to give the body that genetic information to trigger a response. The second one is to trigger a greater response to actually create antibodies to protect you long term, right, into the future. The next kind is kind of the Janssen / Johnson & Johnson. And that one is more of the traditional way that we do vaccines. The traditional is the way that we discovered way back when, before even polio. That we kill it, we give it to you, and your body detects that it's not from your body, and that you end up developing antibodies to that. One of the concerns, of course, is the longevity of that, because that is one immunization. But that is the traditional way. We've always done immunizations. And I think that's one of the things that people got kind of shocked with, was like the numbers, like, oh, this one is better than that one, or which one do you like? And honestly, it's apples and oranges. One is DNA type material. The other one is traditional, old school, the way we've always done vaccines. So you can't compare the two, really.
Right. So we have Yvonne Carter here, which is an amazing friend of mine.
Oh, look at that.
Well, you know Chris, my best friend, Chris Carter.
Yeah.
This is his mom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Yvonne.
Yeah. So she had a bad case of COVID in March, which put her heart into AFib. She received her first vaccine last week. Yay! And I know that this is true because my best friend is his mom, and we were sitting and we were talking about did your Amber Alert just go off?
Yeah, it did.
So did mine. Oh my God, we're like twins. Oh, but see, I don't have one of those smartwatch things. No, girl. No. I already have too many electronics around me. Ain't doing that. But no, and that was a lot. I think I was checking in with Chris the entire time that they were either quarantining or they were getting medications and stuff like that. I was just like, how is everybody doing? Because that was one of my biggest fears, was just that I do know some people that have passed from this. I've had clients spouses, and then I've social media wise seen people that have passed from the disease. And I'm just like, this is what I don't understand, why people don't get it. And I don't want this to get political, because this is the one thing that I've said from the beginning. I'm like, we live in this country so that we can make choices of what we want. But right. The one thing that I hate about politics in general, from both sides, left and right, and down the center, is that there's so much misinformation that nobody knows what to listen to. And the number one thing that we always listen to is we always listen to the bad before we listen to the good. It comes down to human nature. We will always remember that somebody said that we were ugly, but we won't remember the 10 people that said that we were beautiful. So we always remember and listen to the bad, which we need to make sure, like, I have done research after research after research, because on Friday I get the Johnson & Johnson, and so does Dan. The reason why is because when Moderna and Pfizer first came out, they said that there were potential food allergy that could be a side effect, or not a side effect, interaction. And I'm allergic to shellfish, that I found out in when I was 40, 2 years ago. Oh, girl, 2 years ago. 42 years ago.
Look, my mother reminded me how old I was recently. I told her, like, oh, Mom, I'm only 33 years old. And she's like, who are you kidding? And I'm like, what?
But I went ahead and made sure that I did my research on what to do. And of course, I mean, here's the thing. I also take Adderall for ADHD. And there's side effects to that. There's side effects to smoking, drinking, medication, to everything. So I don't understand why people are like, oh my God, the side effects. Like, if you are alive, you are doing already worse, because the food that we eat is horrible. If you eat at McDonald's.
So just to give you an example, because I now, one of the things I work now in family, that's why I'm dressed this way. I just got off of work. I work in family practice. So I feel like I take care more of women these days and women's health than I do anything else. But it's interesting because what I see, like, I see women like, oh, give me my progesterone injection for 3 months. But I'm a little scared about the COVID vaccine. I'm like, hold on a second. Like, the difference between the needle gauges for your progesterone 3-month injection versus COVID, the side effects, everything is uniquely different. Well, I see you pulled up a question here.
So what is the efficacy once being vaccinated? Could I tongue the hell out of someone with full-on raging COVID and not get it?
No. So that's a good question, and let's clarify. So the purpose of the vaccine is, the answer is enough. Okay? Enough for you not to die and not to be intubated. That doesn't mean that you can't get it again. That doesn't mean that you can't get it and be deathly sick or hospitalized, or give it to other people, which is worse. Right? So the idea is, like, we are now the vaccine essentially is preventing hospitalization, if possible, or intubation.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, is it's not about, like, once we get it, we could be like, yay, throw all the cares and safe to the wind. It's no, we still have to be protective, but we do have a little bit of leniency. It's kind of like, okay, if I'm sitting there and I'm with you and we're both vaccinated, we're probably okay. You know what I mean?
The CDC has come out and said that it's okay to have dinner parties or whatnot with all people vaccinated.
Right. So Yvonne says people do not realize how bad this is until it knocks on your door. 100% correct. We have Paul Butler here says, being an RN here and president of a nonprofit for those living with HIV and their families. Yay. Which we also have Eric here that specializes in that. Families went through a lot of smashing misinformation on positive people getting the vaccine. Was hell to get people to understand being on HIV meds wouldn't protect you. Most of my organization has gotten, and a lot we took to and from vaccination appointments. That is amazing, Paul. Thank you so much for doing that for the community. I think that's one thing. It's kind of like, if we can sit there and back in November, we can sit there and we can make sure that people were getting to the polls. Why can't we do this to make sure that people are able to go get vaccinated? You know what I mean? So thank you so much. And you're 100% correct, Paul. Like, with people that have HIV or that are on PrEP, I would say that I think that a lot of people think that if you're on already an antiviral that you can't go get COVID, which I'm going to speak on the Sass side of that, is wrong. You might have a little bit of protection because you have an antiviral and you're dealing with another virus, but at the same time, you're also dealing with something completely different.
So on my science side, I will tell you that they're not completely wrong in the sense that the antiviral did do something, but it was to the symptoms, right? Because the antivirals were giving them some viral degree of protection. A lot of them didn't realize that they were already COVID positive, right? And they kept on living thinking they were COVID negative. A lot of patients came back to me trying to go to surgery or whatnot for like a nose job, for rhinoplasty or whatever. and they're like, "Oh, my surgeon canceled my surgery because I tested positive just before going into surgery. They were on PrEP or they were on Victari or Devato, and they had no idea they were COVID positive."
So if anybody's wondered, that's what I looked like. That's what I look like out of drag. Well, with no body on. Hold on. But that was actually about 45 pounds ago. That was pre-COVID.
That's before the Oreos went on sale and everyone
exactly. I hate Oreos. They're disgusting. Unless you like take off the outside part and lick the center. But I always like to open up the outside part and lick the center. Just saying. So if everybody could once again at the bottom of your screen do a bunch of hearts, and then slide over, hit that share button, hit it to your groups, share it to your groups, your friends, and your pages and stuff like that, because we're about to pop onto the next subject, because this is just a catch-up episode. This is kind of like to throw everything in there and go balls to the wall. Drag. We're going to talk about me.
Well, I don't know if you realized, but during COVID, especially after September, I did a little bit of dragging myself.
That's a plane.
Just drag is one of the forces on a plane.
Just because you have air drag doesn't mean that you did drag. Don't you dare.
I used air drag, that little Cessna flying all over Orlando, landing on an Orlando executive.
When you wake up the next day and your back hurts and your calves are on fire and your feet are still like they're bound together still from heels, then you've done drag.
I was lighter than air that was floating up in the sky.
Oh, Roy says the creamy center is always the best, not just Oreos. You're 100% correct. Excuse me. I literally shoveled Chipotle down my gullet before I got on here, so God knows what else is going to happen. So drag. Let's talk about just the quick little drag scene. I'm just going to do like 10 minutes of it. When things started opening back up and the club started opening back up and they were doing seating and they were doing shows, but limited seating and all of this stuff. I really felt bad for a lot of these establishments because, me being a single operating business, I got no help, no assistance. No. And so these large businesses, they basically, they might have gotten grants or whatever, but it was basically just to keep the lights on or to pay their employees. They had to choose which one.
Hold on, pump the brakes there. First off, they got the grants, and that money never made it to the employees, and that happened in a lot of places.
Well, yeah, it was to keep the lights on. It was to keep the lights on so the employees could at least come back. That's what I was saying. It was one or the other. It was either going to the employees or going to keep the lights on. And so I feel really bad for a lot of people that were in the entertainment industry, all realms, live music, drag, theater.
Don't go too far. The largest employer here in Central Florida, the Walt Disney World Company, a lot of those people got laid off.
Yeah, a lot of them got laid off and stuff like that, and so when it came to the drag entertainment industry, and we started getting back and everything like that, I was really applauding a lot of people because I was seeing a lot of people wearing masks or wearing shields, and all this. But it's like all of a sudden I've noticed that's like nobody fucking cares anymore. Like literally, like I don't see shields, I don't see masks, I see packed. I'm talking elbow packed places, and it blows my mind because I'm not saying that I'm the almighty. I am nowhere near that. But I have been hosting a show on a open air 2-story paddle boat cruise called the Dora Queen. And we do a monthly cruise. And like our next one is in May.
I've been there. It's actually amazing and lovely. I have a great time every time. I think it's twice or 3 times.
We've sold out every single month that we've done this, and the month of May, which is May 8th, we have myself, Cara Cavalli Andrews, and Imani Valentino. And the cruise includes food, which is provided by Luigi's Italian Restaurant, includes entertainment. It's a 2.5-hour cruise. And then you can also add a bottomless mimosas onto that. But the one thing that I did, because I actually held auditions 3 months ago, I think it was, online auditions where they had to submit pictures, they had to submit their performances, and they had to sign a contract saying that if they were to perform on this cruise, they had to wear some sort of shield or mask, something, because we keep it at a limited number of people. And that includes also like the other production that I put together that I'm not performing in, but I'm doing the music. And that's our glow party and our dance party. This is our second one. And this is with Katana Gemini, Kaya Adonis, and this month's special guest is Juno Vibrance, and that's April 23rd. And every single entertainer is like, that's fine, I'll wear it, and they haven't had an issue. And I'm wanting to make sure that we have a safe area for people to come in and enjoy. One, we're open air. Two, the wind is blowing. So I've been saying, I'm like, if you got COVID on this boat, you were meant to get it.
It's flying right by you. It's not gonna...
that wind is like literally this past Saturday, my hair whipped around my face and I kept turning and it kept whipping back. And I was finally I just ripped my wig off. I was like, I'm doing this song without my fucking wig. Fuck this. Because literally it was in front of my face. But as pioneers of our industry, of our community, I think it's extremely important to make sure that, our stance and our power is making sure that our patrons are safe. Let's see. Paul says, I've done drag twice, turnabout shows. I was a lot more fascinating and interactive than I am when performing as me. This was the Imperial Court of Oklahoma. Oh, the Imperial Court. Hello. Yes, we love the Imperial Court. Love them. Roy, I've done drag too. I'm Squeaky from Maryland. I'm going to have to look you up, Roy. I want to see this. But,
So can I cut you off for a moment?
Yeah.
So my point of view, and I think this is maybe where you're trying to get to, is that when you're a performer, you're on a stage, right? And I'm just thinking about like, even whether it's like Shakespearean time to now, right? You're on a stage, people are looking up to you. People are seeing you. Primary example, we see someone on a Marvel like superhero on TV that looks really attractive. It's like, oh, I want to be like that. I want to do that. And I think drag is no different from a performance standpoint. So we kind of have to, in some ways, be the role model and set the standard.
And that is 100%. And like, I have to applaud like Gay Days just announced 2 weeks ago that they're moving to 2022. Tidal Wave announced that they're moving to 2022. And I'm loving that our community, the people that have large events, are like, you know what? It's just not the right time just yet. It's just not the right time. So they're pushing it again. Because here's my thought process. I would rather still stay alive and be able to enjoy it next year than go and get sick and die and not enjoy it the next year. You know what I mean?
Well, right now, this goes back to our vaccine topic. Right now, because you are unvaccinated, you can likely die from it, right? And high probability of that.
I mean, I'm 42 and fat. I will die.
So in a few days from now, the likelihood is you will get severely sick, but not die.
But not. I'll just be like, boo, I'm sick. Oh, I'm so sick. But no, so like I feel that our industry kind of needs to get it together. Like I've seen some entertainers that I personally know that work in like Las Vegas, and they're wearing their shields.
Don't even go too far. Even for me, I wore my mask even while I was flying.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's federally regulated now. You're supposed to.
Well, it's a private aircraft, but yeah.
Oh, true. That's true. Oh, look, Kenny says you're not fat, you're thick. Yes.
Ooh.
Wait, let me see if
several C's behind there.
Oh, I got my leg up there.
I want to see what yoga happening.
But no, so I just feel that the people that I keep seeing that are out being reckless, it really disappoints me, and I've actually started unfollowing and defriending, because I'm like, you want to know what? Like, not that my follow or my friending does anything to their life whatsoever, but it affects me mentally, which that means we're going to pop over to our next subject. How's your mental state, bitch? How is everybody doing out there? If everybody could comment, how are you doing? How have you been holding up this past year? Like, seriously, like, this is a honest question. Like, how are you doing? What are you doing to keep yourself sane in this crazy world of time of
Interesting topic on the science side of mental health.
Yes.
I have never in my life seen in family practice the use of antidepressants or even vitamin D replenishment as I have in recent times.
Yeah. I'll tell you right now, Dan and I, we were out a few nights ago, and we wore our masks and stuff like that, and we were at an establishment that wound up getting extremely busy, and I was drunk. I'm not even gonna lie, I was drunk. And it was like all of a sudden I realized how busy they were. And I literally had this like sense of like this anger at the people because there was no mask, elbow to elbow. This sense of like this like fear and this anxiety that came over me that I went off on Daniel for no reason. Like I went off like to the point that I made this man cry. Yeah. And the next morning I woke up and I looked at him. I sat on the couch. Actually, I didn't even look at him. I sat on the couch with my head down like this. And I reached over and I pushed the pause button on the TV. And he's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I was an asshole last night. I am so sorry."
So here's a very good point. And this is the difference between you and I right now. We sit on different sides of the fence where in your mind, right, there's still this thing that can kill me, right? In my mind, it's like there's this thing that can hurt me, but I can survive. It's actually sitting in our subconscious quite a bit, and that could be quite a bit of an issue.
Okay, we're back.
Oh, did you hear me? I don't know if you heard me.
No, we couldn't hear you. All of a sudden, everything went black and like was like spinning.
So I was explaining that you and I sit on different sides of the fence right now, where there's this thing, whether it's subconscious or consciously, there's this thing out there in this world that can potentially kill you right now. Right. And I felt the same way. Like before I was vaccinated, right? Before I was vaccinated, I would walk into Chili's elbow to elbow and I was like, just turn it right around. I'm not walking in there. Today, because I'm vaccinated, even if it's a little bit cramped, I'll be like, you know what? I think I can manage this. And I'll try to manage it the best I can.
Right, exactly. Like I just like, and that's the one thing. Like I'm just like, oh my god, like just my mental stuff. Like other than that, I've been actually pretty good. Let's see, we have Thomas is saying hi.
Oh, is that you saying hi? I thought you had a question. I was like, questions.
If you have a question, type away. Kenny says, I'm good because my friend is a mental health counselor. We talk a lot. That's awesome. That is amazing. Roy says, I got end of January of not knowing up from down and just sleeping all the time. I mean, it became a walking pneumonia. It sucked. I was out of work for 2 months. Damn. Oh, God, I feel for you. I am so sorry to see that. Been hard not running with the HIV support group. Not everyone has / understands how to Zoom. So a lot of phone time with many not dealing with being so isolated for so long, especially those with partners or roommates.
Okay, can we have real talk for a moment?
That's what
I work with doctors, people that have doctoral degrees, and they still a year later cannot figure out Zoom. I just don't get it.
Because yeah. Yeah, like Zoom is confusing, but it's very confusing. Thomas says, I feel badly for Dan. Listen, I did. I felt horrible for him, Thomas. Jeffrey says, I'm confused what this live is about. So Jeffrey, Sass Science, if you're just joining us, we started last year, Eric and myself. I am the Sass side, he is the science side. He is a nurse practitioner. I am a drag queen, so we all know that drag queens are bitches and we're sassy.
Totally true.
It's all true. So we just go over a bunch of topics. This is our season 2 premiere. So we're kind of just bullet pointing everything that's happened over the past 8 months since we haven't been live. And this is our premiere. So yeah, so this is what we basically just go real talk, but we talk about my side of seeing stuff and his side of seeing stuff. So what I see on the social media side, what I see on the out and about, and I'm just like, bitches need to get your shit together. And then he goes, okay, let's explain how we get this shit together. So there we go. That's exactly what it is, Jeffrey. So yeah, so you know how I've learned meditation, breathing, you know, just relaxing, and I'm one of those people where I'm really good at like always having a smile on my face, and it just piles and stacks and piles and stacks and piles and stacks and piles and stacks and piles and stacks. And I finally realized that I had to stop doing that. That I literally just had to be like, okay, listen, if I hate the way that you put the trash can bag in the trash, I'm going to tell you. And it might not be nothing, but I'm going to tell you. Instead
Are you sure you don't have a vitamin D deficiency?
I do have a vitamin D deficiency, but I'm on pills for that, honey. But we're going to talk about that another time because we're coming.
That's another show.
That's another show. We're coming at 20 minutes until we have to get off this thing before StreamYard and Facebook and all of the other places kick us off. But no, like, I think mental state is really hard right now for a lot of people, you know, and I was actually talking to somebody earlier that, like, literally earlier, like 2 hours ago, that, you know, they're really trying to reevaluate life and stuff like that because they don't understand why they aren't having packed shows or they aren't having, you know, opportunities like they were in 2019 and prior. And I said to them, I said, listen, I said, here's the thing. I said, you and I are kind of like of the same cloth. I was like, we don't kiss ass. We don't give people rusty trombones. We don't tickle somebody's balls just to get a gig. We're like, we know we're going to be entertaining. We know we're going to be entertaining. We know we're going to go ahead and we're going to do this fucking thing down. And I said, right now with people finally opening back up, unfortunately, the people want their ass tickled, they want their balls tickled, they want that rusty trombone. So you have to make that decision. And then I said, also, you have been one of the entertainers that has gone back that is continuing to wear your shield. And she was like, yeah, I have, because and I said, you're protecting, you're responsible. And that's where it comes into where there are a lot of places that aren't wanting their queens to wear shields because it reminds everybody that, like, they're not saying that. They're not saying that. But the vibe is there because it's, you know, our space, we safe spaces, we're able to be ourselves, right? And so by wearing a mask or a shield, you kind of remind everybody that there's still an issue, that you might not be safe. So I feel like some entertainers are like, nope, not going to wear it.
That is some serious denial shit going on right there.
Yes.
Oh my God. Delusion.
Yeah. Thomas says, you guys rock. I appreciate you both. We appreciate you for tuning in and watching us. Thank you. So I'm going to say that since you appreciate us, go to make sure you go to the bottom of your screen and hit that red heart a bunch of times. Bunch, because it pops us up in the algorithm and makes people come on and watch us, and then slide over and hit that share button to your groups, to your friends, and your page.
Check it out. Thomas actually had another statement, which I think is a very important one.
I've heard that medications such as Xanax and etc. are being prescribed way more frequently for people.
True and false. So let's clarify that one. I will tell you right now that Xanax is being overprescribed from what I see in the clinical setting in psychiatric offices and psychiatric clinics. So psychiatrists, basically. In the family practice environment, because of the national opiate crisis and the American Academy of Family Physicians, our recommendations are actually to use non-addictive medications such as SSRIs, SNRIs, and other medications that are similar to Xanax but non-addictive, like buspirone. Buspirone actually has a lot of head-to-head data comparison that it does help with anxiety, and it can actually bring down without having any addictive qualities whatsoever.
So Thomas actually has a comment / question, I guess, on here. He says, at this time, I choose no vaccine. My values won't allow the one type you spoke of with the DNA. The other is possible, but I don't do well with flu vaccines. So I am watching and listening. Everyone should be educated before something goes into their body. You are educational in so many ways. Laugh out loud.
Yeah. So if you have any concerns, I mean, the idea is the prevention of death, ultimate death, and intubation, right? Severe disease. So if you have any concerns, I think right now the best bet for anyone, and I think Barry, you can probably speak to this, is the utilization of the Johnson and Johnson and the Janssen one. There's just a one and done. That is the old classical traditional one that we received as children eons ago.
So what Thomas is saying though right here, he's like, I don't do well with the flu vaccine. So, which is basically what Johnson and Johnson is traditionally is basically like a flu vaccine. So if he doesn't do well with that, I mean, what is the commenting on that in the sense of this is how it was explained to me, not by you, but by somebody that was in actually the infectious disease departments or whatever you want to call it. You know, she's not that bright, kids. So it's just, I know she works for the infectious disease people. They said that Pfizer and Moderna are basically like the speed card to your DNA to go, and it attaches to go, okay, you need to protect. And then the Johnson & Johnson is the one that's still going to make it to the destination, but it's going to take a little longer because it's going, okay, guys, you need to protect me from this. So, and it was also explained to me that like even traditional flu shots, flu vaccines, because a flu shot is technically a vaccine, that if you actually get a fever, chills, whatever, that means that it's actually working.
Yeah.
That means that your body is actually responding, which means that it has now learned what it needs to do to protect from the actual live virus, because the vaccines are dead viruses going into the body. And so what your body is doing is it's learning that code. So it's basically going in and it's learning that code of that virus so that when the live virus comes in there, the body automatically has the protection to it. It would be like, nope, push it on out.
There's also another caveat that we didn't consider that's probably important that Thomas kind of know. Is that the flu vaccine, a lot of people don't do well with it because it's usually 3 or more different viruses for that season, right? So it's not like COVID where it's just COVID, right? It is a series of multiple. So the likelihood of you not doing well because you have a systemic reaction, like Bear is describing, is much higher.
Gotcha. So let's see. Paul says, I've been stoning Queen's outfits to stay busy and not thinking so much of the current events. Bitch, I got plenty of stuff to stone. I stone my own stuff, so I understand. That E6000 high, honey. Paul, that E6000 high, she will let you see rainbows and unicorns. Yes, she will. Kenny says, great show. Thank you so much, Kenny. We started this, like I said, last year, not knowing that we were going to be doing a season 2 a year later. Dan says, can you prescribe me Xanax when Perante is mean?
I can, but I won't.
I am not mean all the time. He does not need a prescription. Thomas says, Daniel Markovich. All right, so Thomas says, I don't do well with the vaccine either, the flu vaccine either. I stopped getting them. I got the Moderna spelling and had minimal issues. And so, and I think that comes down to like one of the things, like everybody's so individual that we're going to respond differently, you know.
And look at this. Thomas had minimal reactions, but Fauci actually on his second one had 103-degree fever.
Correct. So Jeffrey says, haha, I'm pretty fair, but one of the biggest myths is that sunscreen blocks out vitamin D, which is false. My personal 2 cents. But based on existing data and sources online, gay men are at the higher predisposition of skin cancer due to push to tan within the gay community. Sorry. But yeah, I do hope this can be addressed, because why you want to look like something which resembles skin damage, UV radiation for beauty's sake, when in fact it prematurely ages you and can ultimately, hold on, I'm going to go over here, and can ultimately, there's more to the comment, but I can't see it. So, Jeffrey, just to let you know, you're going to want to make sure that you tune in 2 weeks, because we will be revisiting the D from last season. We're going to be revisiting it now, which we cover vitamin D, which is a huge thing. So make sure that you tune in.
But can I tell Jeffrey and everyone one thing?
Yeah.
That's super sexy. There is nothing sexier at the age of 50 than sunblock on your face at the age of 20. The sun that hits your face and penetrates your skin and damages cells will be seen at the age of 50, 30 years later.
Well, that explains why John Porco looks the way he does now. He must have been a sun worshiper.
That mountain man.
So shame. So Roy wants to know, is Eric single? Actually, she got a ring on it, honey. She got a ring on it. The husband, I think, is behind the camera, shoving something into his hole, but not that hole. This hole right here. So, and this is what I'm going to say. Just kind of like recapping everything. It all comes down to just respecting each other. It comes to respecting. Hello, Cliff Outlaw. Cliff Outlaw is in here. Hi, honey. Marin Pinder is in here. Hello, Miss Marin. How are you?
Oh my God! I was thinking that she would have been perfect for mental health topics.
She would have, which we're going to have to bring her on again, and we're going to have to talk. We're going to have to talk about mental health with her, because she is a licensed clinical technician. Something.
I think she's a licensed clinical mental health counselor.
There we go. That's what it is. There's a bunch of letters. See, y'all medical people with your letters.
It's alphabet soup, I promise.
It really is. It really is. Roy says, "Oh, I'll have to ask." But no, I think this is what it comes down to: is you need to just make sure that we respect each other's opinions and decisions. Who knows? And I'm just going to say this. Who knows? In 10 years from now, the ones that didn't get the vaccine could be laughing at us because we all got fucking like a third arm growing out of our ass. But that was our decision. You know what I mean?
I don't know about you, but that third arm is very useful when bringing in groceries. So,
well, I was just about to say, not third arm in our ass, but out our ass, because I know there's some people in certain rooms that don't mind having the arm in their ass, but I'm talking the other way, But it's just being respectful of each other. Whether you believe in a vaccine or not, that is your decision. But if you're not going to get vaccinated, the one thing that I can say is, and it's proven, and I actually did a video of this on myself, and if I can find it, I'll upload it on the next episode, is that people are like, masks don't work, I had a client come in straight and tell me that I was going to get CO2 poisoning. And I'm like, okay, first off, doctors are doing heart surgery that are there for 8 hours that are wearing a mask.
I actually inspected actual throats, and swabbed them without having my vaccine yet, with just my mask as my protection, and never got COVID.
Exactly. Well, not even about the whole like getting COVID or anything like that, but about passing. Like these myths that people are having about wearing a mask or a shield, that I'm not going to do that because I'm going to get CO2. First off, CO2 poisoning, not going to happen. You can breathe. Now, yes, if you are on oxygen, it might be a little bit more difficult. But if you're on oxygen, you should not be out and about anyway.
You have the tubing that goes right through.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Trip. But like, it's just one of those things. Like, I did this thing with my vape that I wore 3 different types of masks to see where actually the flow would go, and everything stayed here in my person. It stayed in my space. It didn't blow out. So vape is like a cigarette, so it's going to show the expulsion of droplets going out, and if that's staying all right here, first off, I don't want to smell your stink ass breath anyways, if you're not wearing a mask. But that just means that you're protecting me, because I will say this: social distancing ain't gonna fucking happen. It ain't gonna happen. Social distancing. I'm a hairdresser. I work less than 6 feet from people. Like I am literally on top of people working on them.
Ooh, so talking about social distancing. So remember when we had a problem about the difference between 6 feet versus 6 inches?
Yes.
Well, actually, there's a new publication that came out today, and that is that they're using the same technology that was used for COVID to create the new HIV vaccine. It's in phase 1, which means that there's 20 to 80 people out in this world with already an HIV vaccine, and it's proving to be 97% effective so far.
Bitch.
It's Moderna, by the way.
Come on, bitch. Come on, bitch. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Let me tell you right now.
Look, I'm not gonna be able to treat HIV anymore. I'm gonna have to take care of diabetes or something.
Bitch, no, you will be able to, because there's going to be somebody out there saying that they're not going to put that in their body. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh.
And again, I'm not knocking anybody that's not getting the vaccine. Please understand, I'm not knocking you. But there are going to be, you're still be able to treat and still be able to protect, because, you know, there are people that won't get that if they have HIV. So you'll still be able to treat. But, you know, it's just the masks do prove that there is protection. And if you're going to go out and about and be amongst a large group, just wear a fucking mask. It's not hard. And I had somebody say, oh, they're doing that to bind our speech. Bitch, first thing, I gotta talk a little bit louder so you're gonna hear me through that. So they ain't binding nobody's speech, you know. And then I heard
the congresswoman in Georgia, I forgot her name, Green something or other. The best part is that she's on the Congress floor and her mask says censored. She is speaking to all of Congress in the United States and her mask says censored. It's like, how are you censored?
Girl, how are you censored? How are you censored? Hello, Richard Stratham. So, Richard Stratham, he says, yes, you're right. He is a OBGYN down in the Naples area, I believe. He and his husband, Joseph, are fantastic. Joseph is like a Asian / Latina version of Jonathan Van Ness.
Oh,
He's fabulous. God. He's fabulous. But yeah, no, and he and I were actually having the same conversation. You know, it's not hard. I don't know. I don't want to get onto a rant about it, but I hate having I live in an extremely, extremely red part of Florida. And a lot of my clients are extremely red. And luckily, thank God, that majority of them are red because of business structure. Because let's be truthful, like Republican business structure and Democrats are more on like the equality of business for all, and this one's about getting, you know. So luckily they're on it for business structure, and they most of them have actually gotten their vaccines, or they've keeping distance and stuff like that. But, you know, I do hear one of the two of these comments, and sometimes I'm just like, oh my God, where are you listening to this? And where are you reading this information? What QAnon shit have you watched? Because I need to read this, you know. But and that's kind of like one of the things. It all goes back to education, and it doesn't not just about COVID, about everything, you know. Going back to educating is about we have so much information at the drop of our fingertips, you know, that we can look up shit. You can even speak it into your phone, and Siri will tell you, or whoever the hell Androids use, you know, will tell you. And don't just look at one thing. Go over here. Me as a hairdresser, I have watched different stylists do the exact same haircut, but I've gotten different information from each and every single one of them. And I'm sure you, as a nurse practitioner, have watched and studied many doctors and gotten tips and tricks and ways to do one medication with another, dealing with the same subject.
I think ultimately you kind of have to have your own independent critical thinking to be able to analyze things and see it for yourself.
Correct. So, well, we are coming to the end of the hour of Sass Science Season 2 premiere. I would like to thank everybody for joining us, being on This was lovely. This was amazing. Thank you to anybody new that is watching. Thank you to those that are old that are watching. Thank you for just supporting, and make sure that you are following Sass Science on Facebook on the page. Also that you are subscribing here on YouTube as well to get notifications. Hit that little bell. We do go live every 2 weeks. We will not be going weekly. We decided to change it to every 2 weeks because we want to make sure that we keep our information current and correct. Brad says, shout out to me, birthday in 2 days. Mwah, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
I was last Monday. So I think you're an Aries. Holla at the Aries, the ruling symbol of the astrology charts. Yes. And you too, you have a wonderful evening, Jeffrey. Stay safe yourself, and you take care of yourself, and make sure that you keep wearing that sunscreen. So like Eric said, at 50, you still look 20, sis. All right, everybody. I am Bearante Bear the Sass.
I'm Eric NP the Science
of Sass Science. We wish you a well evening. Be well to one another. And remember, stay safe, stay healthy, wash your hands, and just don't be a bitch. Bye.